So, hello and welcome back to another Q&A video. Got through a fair few questions last time, but only about 10% of what I've actually got, so got a lot more to get through. However, if you do like these sorts of videos, maybe ask another question. I'll get to it in future videos. If people do like these, then maybe I'll make it a permanent thing. Okay, first question, Mark Lee. You're stuck on a desert island for a year with one artist or band's entire back catalogue. So who do you choose and why? And to widen the scope, it can include all the side projects of current and former members too, but they have to have been members of the band at one point and not just guests on a one-off song. So if you chose Led Zeppelin, for example, you could include all of Robert Plant's solo stuff. I wouldn't be doing that. Mastodon would be one that springs to mind straight away, because they've covered quite a few styles over their albums. Of course, you've got Brent Hines, who's got multiple side projects. Troy's been in multiple side projects. I think Bill has as well, hasn't he? Was he in Primate? That's a sort of sludgecore type of band. I think Bron's been in a few bits as well. I don't know. I don't know. If I was on a desert island though, I'd probably want something with a bit more diversity. Something that covers the full range. Devin Townsend could actually be a strong contender, purely because of the sheer amount of styles that he's done over the years. I mean, you've got all the Strapping Young Lad stuff, which is full on extreme metal, and you've got his multiple side projects that he's done that cover all sorts of genres, prog of course, and you've got the more ambient stuff, you've got the more reflective stuff like Ghost, and then you've got the country-esque vibes of Casualties of Cool. Not only that, but there'd be all the commentaries that he's done for his albums, which I've always enjoyed listening to as well. I've actually got a lot of information from listening to those, so I'd include them in there because they're part of the box sets. So I think I'd go for Devin Townsend. That seems to be the most logical, purely because I'm a huge fan and there's such diversity there in his music. So if I was in the mood for something different, I would be able to have something a little different, although it would be always Devin Townsend. Why am I only allowed one band anyway? Next up, my good buddy Evaldus Bamika. He asks, more of a health related question. On your channel, Free to Be Positive, that's my second channel, which I'm going to use this as a shameless plug. You talked about staying in shape and eating healthy. I was wondering if you could give any tips on healthy food or maybe share your own eating choices. Well, I too, like most people, eat like crap a lot of the time. I would say lately that I've been feeling pretty healthy, and actually in the latest video on Free to Be Positive, which should be out now, I do discuss a lot of nutrition, or at least the nutrition that I've been consuming lately. Basically, I think the best thing you can do, I mean, I don't drink anymore, long story, but I'm done with that sort of side of things, so technically I should have no excuse not to be a healthy motherfucker. I think some of the main things that I've noticed as I'm getting older is really to try and stay away from refined sugar as much as possible, and everything that it's added into. Basically processed crap. It just doesn't make you feel good, man. It saps your energy. Not only that, it makes the blood more acidic, which can cause inflammation and all sorts of stuff, as well as indigestion and all that sort of crap that goes along with it. The healthiest I've ever been with my eating side of things is definitely when I've gone to the more sort of paleo diet, I suppose. Basically, if it's not natural, don't eat it. I have tried vegan and I did get some benefits from that, but I couldn't stick to it. I love burgers, man. Burgers are awesome. Basically, if you can't pronounce an ingredient, it's probably bad for you. Next up, we have Kraken Toast. What an excellent name. What is your opinion on Rush? I love Rush. I think they're absolutely awesome. I know a lot of the classic albums. I haven't listened to everything in their discography by any stretch, but what I have heard I really enjoy. I like all the classic stuff like 2112, of course, Moving Pictures, fantastic album. Hemispheres I kind of didn't mind. I thought that was quite a good album. I like some of their earlier stuff. Working Man from their self-titled, oh, what a lot of flies. Working Man from their self-titled debut has just got such a great riff. That's such a good riff, man. I love that. So all three of them are master musicians and just incredibly talented people. I've always respected the fact that they just do what the hell they want. I think in this day and age, people just having integrity and following their own muse, their own path, I think is very admirable. So yeah, love Rush, awesome. Next question by Kieran DeCourcy. Not sure, do apologise if I've mispronounced your name. Why have CDs gone up in price? A very brief answer for you here. I have absolutely no idea. I really don't. I wish I could tell you. Next question is by Niran Abraham. Please review or check out the Canadian band Striker. the album Play to Win. Yeah, I know this. I know you've asked me this on a number of occasions. I have checked out the album. I did enjoy it. Highly recommend anybody check it out. To be quite honest, I doubt I'm going to get any chance to review it. I'm finding it difficult to stay on top of the stuff that's just coming out, let alone older releases. So yes, I probably won't get around to that. And yet again, with another cheeky three-parter, we have Mr. C.A. What 2019 album are you most looking forward to? What's the first concert you attended? And what's your favourite movie? Without further fudge, let's get into this. What 2019 album are you most looking forward to? Wow, I don't know. I mean, quite a few of them already come out. I was really looking forward to Rammstein, Devin Townsend, Periphery. All of those have already come out. Of course, we got Tool. Slipknot I'm really looking forward to. Is it my most anticipated? I'm not sure. What do my notes say? My notes say all. My notes give all. One album I really am looking forward to, I'm hoping it's going to come out this year, is the new Carcass album. Huge fan of Carcass. Surgical Steel was a great return from the guys after many years. And I loved that album, so I'm really curious to see what the new ones are going to be like. There were rumours that there was going to be a new Gojira album this year. If that is the case, I'm highly anticipating that one. Love Gojira, amazing band. I was looking forward to Mastodon, but it's looking far more likely that's not going to be until early next year at the earliest at this point. So yeah, I'd say either Carcass or Gojira, if indeed that is happening. First gig I ever attended was, believe it or not, Michael Jackson. Me, my sister and a friend of mine, Andrew Hall, we went to Wembley Stadium. This would have been on the Dangerous tour, and we were right at the very back of the stadium. Couldn't see a damn thing. It was literally just watching a screen. So I can't say it was a very good gig. I mean, it sounded great. I had no idea what was going on. Not the best gig ever. And then what was it? What is my favourite movie? Wow. I'm going to turn off and have a think about that. Okay, this is another one of those questions that's it's always kind of funny when people ask you to whittle everything down to a single thing, because for me it's just impossible. The first thing that sprung to my mind at the moment is Wes Anderson's Grand Budapest Hotel. I just love that film. I love the style of it. Ralph Fiennes does such a great job. I love a lot of David Lynch's movies. Werner Herzog, I love. Terry Gilliam, 12 Monkeys would be up there. That's such a great film. On the horror side of it, you got stuff like American Werewolf in London, John Carpenter's early work before the 90s. Oh, In the Mouth of Madness. That's a fucked up film. I love that film. Of course, you got stuff like Pulp Fiction, which is still a classic. So many good films. There are so many ridiculously good films. There's so many great films, man. So many great films. I probably prefer directors to actual individual films. As I said, I love a lot of Terry Gilliam because of his style. Tim Burton, some of his earlier work was fantastic. Werner Herzog, I like. David Lynch, Wes Anderson. I am a bit of a snob with that sort of thing. I do respect artists. I do respect the artier stuff. So, God, there's two yeah, useless answer. I can't really answer, I'm afraid. Well, as I'm stood by this handy fence here, I might as well read out another question. This one is from my good friend Cheer Yourself Deaf. You've done music reviews, obviously. Just done a Game of Thrones one that proves you watch TV. Are you a big reader, and if so, what books do you enjoy? Also related to the channel, how long on average does it take to edit and put them together? As you often say, you put in a lot more effort than just sitting and doing a reaction. I do read a lot. I've started reading again lately, thankfully. I went through a period where I wasn't reading much at all, but I was trying to get through a book a week at one point. Ooh. I read a lot of the Beat Generation stuff. I've read a ton of Henry Rollins. I've read a lot of his books. He's a big inspiration to me, that guy. I don't agree with everything he says by any stretch, but I really like what he has to say, and his work ethic is very inspiring to me. Henry Miller, that was a huge author for me. I read tons of his stuff. Hunter S. Thompson. I've read a hell of a lot of Stephen King stuff. Really enjoyed his earlier work, not so much some of his new stuff. There's a great book called The Outsider by Albert Camus. Highly recommend that book. Hubert Selby Jr., who wrote Last Exit to Brooklyn. Yeah, there's a lot I've read all the Tolkien stuff, some of George R.R. Martin. Over the last couple of years, I've been reading tons of biographies. Read a lot about musicians that I like. There's been some great autobiographies. Of course, you had Randy Bly doing Dark Days, Max Cavalera's Bloody Roots, I think that's what it was called, or was it My Bloody Roots it might have been called. That was a great read. Rex Brown, James Hetfield, Cliff Burton, all these sorts of ones. Devin Townsend actually did one, Halfway There, which is a great read for anyone who doesn't have that. Highly recommend you check that out. Lately I've been reading a lot of more inspirational stuff. On the subject of music, again, you've got John Joseph. He wrote a great book called Evolution of a Cro-Magnon, which is a very fucked up book. It has about his life story, very, very harsh upbringing he had. He also wrote a book called Meat is for Pussies, which is about being vegan. It's a very good book. It's actually a very, very good book. And he's just done another book called The PMA Effect, which I haven't read yet, but that's going to be the next book I do read. I've read stuff by Rich Roll. He did a book called Finding Ultra. He was a guy who was incredibly overweight. The eve of his 40th birthday was taking his kid up to bed and basically got winded walking up the stairs. He was in incredibly bad shape. He was a recovering alcoholic and basically on the verge of a heart attack, and he changed it all around with going on a vegan diet and now stands as one of the fittest men on the planet. Any sort of positive reading I like getting into me now. The book I'm currently reading, and I'm going to be talking about that on my other channel, Free to Be Positive, so I'm going to plug that one again. Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. I'm not going to spoil too much about that one. If you haven't checked out David Goggins, check him out. If you're a lazy son of a bitch, or you're sat there whinging about your life, read up on David Goggins. You will shut up. And what was the other question? Yes, how long does it take me? Depending on the video, it can take me anything between 10 and 15 hours to do one video. When people get disappointed that I don't get a review done, that's why. You know, I do try to put some research into what I'm doing onto the album. Obviously I have to put a lot of effort into listening to the album, making notes on the album. I do write out the review to a certain extent. It's kind of bullet points, but I do have to write it out, going out and filming it. And as many of you have commented on so nicely, a lot of you seem to enjoy the editing that I do with my videos, and depending on the length of the video, that can be the thing that takes a lot of time. Some of the earlier stuff I did when I was doing my classic album reviews, I remember Typo Negative review I did ended up coming in at about 25 minutes, and a Fear Factory one coming in at over half an hour, I think. Those took me a long time to edit, a hell of a long time. To big myself up, I do actually put a lot of effort into these videos that you so seem to enjoy. Thank you. Okay, this next question is by Nick Garnix. How many kilometers did you walk after your first video? And what means music for you? I assume there's maybe something lost in translation here, I'm not sure. How many kilometers did you walk after your first video? I don't know. I wouldn't know how to. And what means music for me? Well, I guess how important is music to me? It's incredibly important. I was actually speaking to somebody else about this through the comments not so long ago, and I was actually thinking of putting together a top 10 motivational songs list. You know, the sort of thing that gets me up and going. But metal is definitely one of those. It's the sort of music that gets me through a lot of things. When it comes to like working out or anything like that, then metal is absolutely unparalleled in my opinion. I have genuinely burnt more calories to Slayer than anything else. That's a proven fact. I remember when I was training, when I was doing a lot of running back in the day, if I put Slayer on, I would genuinely burn 100 calories more in an hour than listening to other music. So, you know, there you go. That's the motivational power of music for you. Music's incredibly important for me. I like reading about it, I like listening to it, and I like playing it. Playing guitar is a very cathartic thing to do. I have written quite a number of songs over the years, and I've often found some of the best stuff I've written has been when something's going on in my life, or I've kind of gone a bit introverted, a bit inward, and it's not even thinking about it, just picking up the guitar and playing, and suddenly you're writing something. Then you can kind of go on autopilot and things just start to come out. Music's hugely important to me. Always will be. Got two questions here which unfortunately I'm not going to be able to answer too well. First one is by Mike Volk. Have you ever listened to an ambient post-rock band called Hammock? Unfortunately I haven't, but I will have to put that on my to-listen list, which grows ever bigger by the day. Harry Turner asks, ever listened to Attack of the Grey Lantern by Manson? Again, I'm afraid I haven't. So again, that'll have to be put on my to-do list. For a music reviewer, I really have listened to fuck all. I just had a quick look at the time, and I've been waffling on for quite a while now, so I think I'm going to call that a video there. Again, apologies to anyone whose question I haven't answered just yet. However, I am going to continue this walk right now, and I am going to film some more. So I am going to do another video where I'm going to answer some more questions, which will be coming out, I don't know, probably 3 or 4 days after you watch this one. If you like this video, make sure you like, because it really does help boost the videos. And if you are interested in me doing more of these Q&As, because I've certainly got enough questions for the time being, if you are interested in me doing more and more of them, making it more of a regular thing, let me know, and then maybe I can I don't know, maybe I can set something up where I start doing that once a week or once a month or whatever. But yes, a lot to get on with, so I'm going to do that.